Hi guys, I'm Ellie. So I don't know about everybody else, but the past few weeks have been pretty stressful for me. To help deal with that, I got in touch with a few of my friends and family members that I haven't been able to see in a while. To check up on them and to see how they were doing during this time, I asked them a few questions. I honestly had a pretty lengthy list of questions to ask, but if you want to stop and read all of the ones that I asked them, you can pause the video here. I honestly sent these questions out to a bunch of people and didn't really consider how much footage I'd have to deal with as each person replied. Here's a few confirmations that I got from the ones that agreed to be in the video. Anyways, that being said, I want to turn this into a sort of uplifting video series for people who might be having a hard time dealing with all the change right now. So without further ado, I'd like to formally introduce you to this episode featuring my friends Maddie.
Hello, lovely lady.
Harrison.
Hello, my name is Harrison Casper, and I have some questions to answer today.
Casey and Christian.
What's up, guys? I'm Christian.
And I'm Casey.
Together, we're Gracie.
Number one, how are you doing during this time of social distancing and quarantine?
It's hit or miss day by day. It's just kind of like a day by day process for me, especially because I'm super extroverted. So I'm really missing social interaction, but I'm trying my best to social distance.
Going crazy.
Going crazy.
No, just kidding. It's not that bad.
You know, prioritizing health, that's the big thing here. Physical health is at the top of the list.
I haven't really seen anyone or had any sort of human interaction, so that part has been really hard as far as social distancing, but I'm doing it well. But quarantine is just kind of getting boring at this point because my job won't start till the summer.
We live with other people, so it doesn't get that
It's not the
boring.
worst. So
We're
like,
lucky that we're healthy, so
we're fine. We're fine. We're healthy. We're fine.
got each other.
There's a reason why they say that isolation is used as like a punishment or even torture in like prisons or warfare. It's not how we're supposed to be as social beings. So doing as the best that I can. I feel like everybody's doing the best that they can, you know?
Have you taken up any hobbies?
I've recently just started teaching her how to cook, and she's picking up the skill pretty fast.
No.
She's not quite there to my caliber yet, but you know, she's learning. It's a good time to learn.
Quarantine kind of has me doing some things that I have no business doing. Mainly drawing. Not an artistic person in that sense, but I did draw this picture of Danny DeVito that I will show you. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm pretty proud of this. Look at him. What?
I've gotten back into video games a lot more. I've watched some new shows, I've watched some new movies, a lot of documentaries. I love documentaries. Found some new hikes, doing a lot of hiking on trails that typically have less social congestion.
Okay, how are you passing the time?
Wait, I'm not done with my hobbies.
Oh my god.
I've been feeding birds recently.
Yeah, wait.
I've been speaking to birds.
Tweaka tweaka.
Like,
There's bread on our balcony right now.
There's bread right there on our balcony.
Remodeling my basement, that's a huge one. I've completely gutted and cleaned my basement. So that is the next step in my process of like not losing my mind during this quarantine, and two, getting that completely remodeled into like we're remodeling it into like a studio flat apartment with like a living room, a bedroom, my soon-to-be bedroom, small kitchen, and then a bathroom with a washer and dryer too. So that's going to be super nice to be able to have like that space down there.
School and work are the main two things that keep me busy and keep me occupied and demand my time. Getting outside as much as possible. Spending time with my mom also. Her and I are self-isolating together. Just the two of us. So some movies, some art stuff. Just trying to make the best memories in isolation that we can.
They do a lot of interpretive dancing to music that we find. I get in there sometimes, and quite frankly, I think I'm one of the better ones.
Have you or anyone that you know had health concerns about COVID-19? So I have a few cousins who live in New York. We have like a family Facebook chat, and she mentioned how one of her friends, Jasmine, had her grandpa test positive for the coronavirus, and how he was immunocompromised and just that he wasn't doing super well, so she wanted our prayers for that. And my whole family is Mormon, so there's like a lot of prayer love here to be taken into account.
So I went to school in New York, and I just recently moved to Hawaii to be with her during this quarantine because New York was getting a little crazy. A good amount of my professors actually tested positive for COVID, and because of that, it slowed a lot of our classes down. They weren't making Zoom call meetings, which is totally understandable, and like their families were getting sick too, and it was just really a scary time because you didn't know what the next email was going to be regarding their status. And I already know of friends that know of people in New York that have parents passing from COVID, which makes it a really real thing.
So we're lucky that
So we're very lucky that even though we're complaining that we're bored, we're very lucky that we don't have to see that firsthand.
Has this time period of forced isolation brought on any negative thoughts, feelings, or affected you adversely?
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Yes, it has.
Isolation is not something that any human should have to endure because it is terrible. It surfaces some really dark things in your own mind that you don't even know are there until it's like time to sit with your thoughts for like forever.
For me, being that extrovert that I am, that social interaction kind of just like out of nowhere ripping that out. I really regret I didn't go out the last weekend that we actually were still able to go out, and so I really regret not going out now. But the just like taking that away and not like knowing when it's gonna come back and having like all this ambiguity.
The whole epidemic just like slows down that process of me trying to emerge myself into like the working world. But I feel like there's always a plan. Like the universe will put the plan together, and we'll be all right.
There's a lot of just like uncertainty and worry for everyone, not just ourselves, but those around us, and concern. So I think that those overwhelming emotions have just gotten elevated.
Especially living in such close quarters with people. Like if you have issues with the people who you're isolating with, anything will surface and you will talk about them, which is ultimately a good thing. I don't know if it's affected me adversely because it's prompting that like self-reflection and growth. So maybe it's a good thing. You know what I mean? What have you struggled with? Oh man.
School. School is hard because some of my classes it was like only exams, but since we're not in school, they just put on a bunch of work instead, which is just like hard to get to because we're just at home and there's so many distractions. And then we have Zoom call. I have Zoom for like 2 of my classes, and that's hard to do when these guys are just here hanging out.
I feel like the increase in screen time definitely has wrecked me because it got in the way of my sleeping patterns. I had to get these because my eyes were just so strained. You know how at the beginning of the semester when you are just starting your new classes and you're figuring out the professors and figuring out the way that the class is going to be laid out and how you need to approach it with your certain learning style? That all happened over again once we started being in self-isolation and online schooling. Also, in addition to like the way that things are supposed to be, like I'm not supposed to be home right now. Like none of us are. We're not supposed to be watching this video from a distance. Like that's not how things were planned. It's not how any of us anticipated it. And that comes with its own struggle in accepting that change and accepting the way that things have to be for now.
Just sometimes finding the motivation to like get up, get out of bed, shower, throw on an outfit. This is the first time I've worn like a nice top in a while.
I never appreciated how much going to class like actually made a difference in doing online classes. Like
Online classes are hard sometimes.
It's hard, and I'm just not focused.
I mean,
Going to
we
the
live
beach.
in Hawaii.
Yeah,
I just
she live
want to
in
go to the
Hawaii.
beach and swim. It's all that every day is a nice day.
But really, like we have to stay here. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's only the smart thing to do, but soon.
How are you overcoming/working to overcome these feelings? Each other.
Right here, 1, 2, 3. Each other.
Like reaching out to people who I can talk to over the internet or over FaceTime or Zoom calls or anything like that. It definitely helps Even just like constant Snapchat with friends who I would normally be talking to if things were the way that they should be, you know?
Just checking in with myself. That's pretty much it. Venting is huge. I either vent to my friends or my family. My brothers are no help whatsoever. They're introverted, so they just kind of like stay inside. This whole process has been super easy for them. So just venting, reflecting, praying, hoping, never losing hope.
If you're going through challenges, talk about it. Don't hold it in, because the more you hold it in, the more it's just gonna pressurize and explode. So you definitely don't want to bleed on people who didn't cut you. And that's definitely something that's hard when you are in isolation and might not fully understand how you're feeling all the time.
Think about the bigger picture.
This is a sign to just take things slow and easy.
Yeah.
Think about everything and just, pick up a new hobby.
Think about every time that you're working or had school and you're like, dang, I wish I had a day off.
Yeah, I wish the weekend lasted longer. There you go.
There.
Your wish came
You can
true.
stay home and just chillax.
I think once this all blows over, we're going to be like, oh my God, I do not want to go to school, work,
No
all that
excuses,
stuff.
mate.
I really like just saying a simple prayer, watching new things that you might love, finding something that interests you and just like investing in it, or just like holding close to family. If you have family, if you don't, hold it close to friends that you may consider family. Just consistent hope and optimism, which is really hard, I know, because that's the thing that I struggle with. But just continually practicing that is good, and making that a repetitive process so it becomes a routine.
That's another advice. Don't get mad at yourself for being human. This isn't a familiar time. It's not something that we're supposed to be feeling or are wired to feel. So don't be hard on yourself.
Stay home.
Stay home, wash your hands, be mindful of other people. Just because you want to go out and have fun doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, like it's like...
if you want to be out of this quarantine, then the most you could do is just stay home.
Exactly. There's people that are actually really sick right now. And
or
like
people working in these...
People working, that breaks my heart too. They can't even go like be home with their families all the time. This is all we could do. Yeah. Just stay home. Easy.
And it's easy.
What positive words you have to give for the rest of the world? I love you. Those are my positive words. If you're watching this and I just bore my heart and soul to you, you know part of me now. And likely, I love you. Because you are human and you are watching this and you are somehow connected to Ellie, which means you're likely a great human. So take care of yourselves, sit with feelings, and then also act. Sit and then act.
Always keep that optimism up, and the best is always yet to come. Everyone has overcome struggles. Every single person. That's just a fact. And we'll overcome this one as well. So those are my last positive words, or my final positive words on the subject. Thank you, Ellie, for this, and I miss you and I love you.
You got it. Smile.
You got this.
Wake up and smile, and
it's a new day.
Yes, positivity.
Positive mental attitude, guys.
That's so 2019.
Oh my God.
Alright. Was that everything? Alright.
Like and subscribe.
Shoots, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Love y'all.
Love you, Ellie.
Thanks again for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay safe, stay home, stay hopeful.